What is up, my fellow Chibits? It is time for some harmony! Because Tokyo Ghoul Pinto, the OVA that centers around Chihori and Tsukiyama Shuu, has finally been translated. It has finally come out. Now, there's going to be many asking, and I want to quickly just clarify. This OVA takes place, I'm going to assume, before the anime or the real series, and it shows a brief little time point in the past with Chihori and Tsukiyama Shuu's first meeting, when they first met. And if you don't know who Chihori is, let me kind of explain who she is. Chihori is the little girl, or the pet of Tsukiyama Shuu, that goes around taking pictures of everything. And you get to see how their introductions, how they met, and, you know, how they kind of became what you can consider friends throughout this OVA. Now, the first things first, before you start asking, why wasn't this in the manga? Well, according to my understanding, this right here is actually from the novels. There is light novels to Tokyo Ghoul, and sadly, there is no real official translation, or I would have already have read the shit out of those, and I would have already done some in-depth reviews and stuff, but sadly, there is no real translations at this time for the novel. So, of course, I've never seen this content that we got to see in Tokyo Ghoul Pinto. It was entirely new to me. Like, I had no idea what I was walking into besides it focusing around Chihori and Tsukiyama Shuu. That's all I knew. So, this entire OVA, it was very fun. It was very fun sitting down to watching this, but there's one thing I want to quickly clarify. Since I can't read Japanese, and there is no real translations, I haven't seen the original source, I don't know what they have taken out, what they have changed or altered in any way from the original source. So this is coming from an anime only, from my perspective as an anime only, for not actually reading the original source, because it's not possible at this moment. But for now, I'm just going to go off of what I know, and there probably is going to be something different from the light novels. I already know. I mean, let's look at the past track record of Tokyo Ghoul's anime, and then we already know. So, I'm already going to assume that a lot of shit in this OVA has been altered and changed in some way, but I don't know exactly what it is, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So, diving straight headfirst into this OVA, for one, the music. The music is what sells the anime for me. If there's one thing I can compliment the anime on, it's the music. And now, there's a lot of bad with anime of Tokyo Ghoul, Season 1, Season 2, and stuff. But if there's one thing Tokyo Ghoul does right, it's definitely the music. The music has always been so fucking awesome in this series, and the music definitely gives life to this episode, or this OVA episode of Tokyo Ghoul Pinto. It was very nice to hear the music again, hear that ending and opening song and stuff. It was really nice to hear it throughout this entire episode, and for these key individual scenes. And I mean, it's always good to hear one of my favorite voice actors, getting to hear, Tsukiyama Shuu talking with his voice actor, and hearing harmony! That's fucking awesome. Just fucking yes, 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 yes. It's always great hearing that when you're watching an episode of Tokyo Ghoul. And when I heard that, I'm like, yes, I can live past anything, just as long as I could hear, Shu's voice and all that, just to hear his sweet harmony. But one thing I have to say, what makes me really enjoy this episode so much, I think, besides music, of course, and besides it not just being new content I haven't seen before, it's probably because it was a Tsukiyama Shuu orientated episode, because it was entirely focused around him. That's exactly what this entire OVA was. It was focused around Tsukiyama Shuu and Chihori. And if you were looking for Kaneki or anyone else, you're not going to see them. This is just focused on these two characters. But one thing that surprised me is we got to see Matsume. We actually get to see Matsume in this OVA. And I'm surprised to actually see her. When I saw her, I'm like, whoa! Matsume! Yeah, you're here! And it makes me remember it makes you remember, Tokyo Ghoul Re when you think back on it. But yeah, anyways, seeing Matsume was a nice, good treat for me, and seeing, all of these cast and characters come back with their roles and voice acting and stuff, it just made me really excited. But enough of that. Let's actually dive into the inner details of what this OVA was about. So, the introduction of Chihori, or let's actually more talk about her character. Chihori has always been a mystery, and I don't know much about her. Like, when we first saw her in Tokyo Ghoul Re, we don't really know much about her. I mean, we know she was in the light novels, and I mentioned it before. And, of course, I don't think many of us have read the light novels because it's all in Japanese, no official translation. There's not even a fan translation anywhere, according to my understanding. So you really can't know what's behind Chihori's character until now this OVA, and of course some of it could still be fucked up. And from getting to see her introduction, I have a little bit more of an understanding of what type of person she is. For one, Chihori is a type of person that cares for her life, but she's willing to go as far as taking pictures when she is about to die. Which was surprising and shocking. That was one thing that got me, because to see how she walks into danger. For instance, let's talk about the first time we see her in this episode. She walks up to a ghoul eating somebody and takes a picture. That is some fucking mentally insane shit to do. Think about that for a second. Like, if you were to walk up to a ghoul just harvesting and eating someone in the middle of an alleyway, you're like, picture, you know, and you just run off and all that, they're gonna fucking try to kill you. They're just, straight up, they're gonna try to kill you. And Chihori walking up to Sukiyama Shuu and doing this shit, that was a very, very dangerous move. It was. And I mean, if I didn't think Sukiyama Shuu's personality was just so out there, I think a normal ghoul would have killed Chihori, and just right there on the spot. So, Chihori is lucky, for one. Maybe she's just very smart, and for one, she's able to play people in a certain way, or maybe, once again, she is a fool. And, which is very interesting, by the way. In this OVA, there actually is a mentioning of a tarot card. Yeah, there's cards mentioned, like the Fool and stuff, and I'm like, what? What? Like, there was mentioned the Fool, and I'm thinking, whoa, the Fool's being mentioned and all this right here. Now, there was a Chibi on Facebook and Twitter that actually said that, according to the light novels or whatever, it was in the light novels, but in the OVA, it wasn't actually said. So, when the words were being spoken in the episode, that line wasn't actually said. But in the light novels, that line was said. So, I think, from what I can understand is whoever translated this, Tokyo Ghoul Pinto, they just copied and pasted probably that line or something from the light novels and placed it inside of this OVA, even though that's not what he was really saying, probably just for a little bit of fan service for people that love diving deeper into Tokyo Ghoul. But that's a really interesting subject right there, just seeing how Chihori had that kind of card attached to her in this episode, or in the light novels as well. It makes you really wonder exactly what she is. Does it really go towards her, or if there's something else behind it? But now getting back into Chihori, talking about more about her personality, she doesn't really care so much for her safety. It doesn't really seem like that. I mean, she has these backup plans, which we have seen kind of displayed before, but she had it to where if Sukiyama Shuu would have killed Chihori, if she would have died and hit the floor, or the ground, you had it to where a blog post would have popped up and revealed everything to the entire public about who the Sukiyamas are. And Shu's entire family would have been fucked. So, it's kind of crazy if you think about it that Chihori would go that far, but not really care for her life. It's like she sets up these backup plans to fuck someone over, but then it's like she doesn't really care about her overall safety. And it makes you wonder what her true nature is. Like, what is her real angle? Is it really just taking pictures? I mean, she was taking pictures while she was falling from a building. And then she got saved, thankfully. And there's no way she could have possibly have known that, Sukiyama Shuu could have saved her. Like, there was a slight chance he wouldn't have saved her, because she wouldn't have went as far as to put pictures on a blog post to fuck the Sukiyamas over if she 100% believed that Sukiyama Shuu would have saved her from that fall. So you get my point. It makes you wonder, what's her real angle here? What is the entire angle of her character? But I want to save that for later, because we don't really know a lot yet, and I would have to read the light novels to get the full grasp of it. But let's talk about Shuu. So Shuu, soon as this OVA starts, oh my god, the OVA starts off with one of the best things ever. Like, I haven't actually read or talked or anything about Tokyo Ghoul in a couple days now, and I sat down, started watching this episode, 14 seconds in, 10, 14 seconds in, somewhere on there, between that time frame, you have it to where Sukiyama Shuu stabs this dude straight through the fucking chest, and he covers his mouth like this, and he just, Oh my god, he's sitting there about to devour this dude. He's talking about his legs and shit, like, oh, these beautiful muscles and legs, and just, he starts eating this guy, and right at the start of the episode, he just stabs and all that, and he's like, this like, aroma, the smell. Oh my god, Shuu is amazing. It just, his character is so good. And this was quite the dark episode, actually. It was very dark, because for one, just the start of it alone, just seeing this dude getting stabbed, and Shuu, that's kind of like the protagonist of this OVA, sitting there eating this guy, you're like, damn. And then what happened to the old man? Oh, God, dude. That poor old man. He got fucked up. Oh my God, dude. Tsukiyama Shuu was just ripping off his fucking flesh and just eating it like beef jerky, man. Just like ripping it. Beef jerky. And that's what he was doing. And then he left this dude, old man, just alive. But the creepy part about it is that Tsukiyama Shuu, he didn't really come for the old man. He came for the girl that was abusing the old man. Here's the thing. There's a line of dialogue at the end of the episode, which actually foreshadows quite a bit in Tokyo Ghoul Re. Now, we also have to factor in that this OVA was based off of a light novel that came out a long time ago. It came out a long time ago before the recent chapters of Tokyo Ghoul Re came out. For instance, you know, what we saw with Tsukiyama Shuu and Karen. And there was a line at the end of the OVA to where Shuu says, like, so, like, tragic romance. So, like, that's the best way to summarize it. He was talking about, like, tragic romance, how romance is, you know, tragic, or the queen of tragedy. That's the exact word he said. And I wonder if that was foreshadowing to the events of Karen and Shuu, but also we have some other lines with Chihori that says, like, you know, you easily can tell that you're a ghoul. The Tsukiyamas are ghouls, the way you are, the way you all act. And that kind of hints at the current arc that just ended in Tokyo Ghoul Re. And so there's a lot of foreshadowing right here throughout this entire episode that really centers around the latest arc we just finished in Tokyo Ghoul Re. And I can't believe that. It once again goes to show you how incredible Ashita is with kind of letting us know what we can expect from the future, but not really letting us know until we actually see the arc, and then we look back and we're like, holy shit, this was all here, and we just didn't even realize it. So yeah, I mean, good stuff. Very good stuff in this OVA. I really, really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see the light novels actually finally translated, for I can sit down and read them and see what was cut out from this. Because I know there had to be something cut out. There's no way in fuck they added everything. I just, after seeing what they've done to other shit of this series, no. I don't trust anything at all. But yeah, it was still fun though. So if you have yet to give it a watch, go give it a watch. If you like Tsukiyama Shuu, you like Chihori, you want to find out about their backstory, their connection, different things like that, you should definitely give this a watch, because it's worth it. It really is. And if you love Tokyo Ghoul as much as I do, you should have already watched it anyways, because you need to know the information if you want to, you know, kind of know everything what's going on currently in the series. Because as we know, Ashita-sensei, he doesn't really let you know everything. Like, for instance, he doesn't hold your hand. You have to go out of your way to figure out what's going on, because if you don't, well, you're going to be lost. And that's kind of how he writes his series. But anyways, yeah, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.